Hello, YouTube. Welcome to our comic book corner. This is Alil.
This is Sean, and no Steve, but he understands why.
Yeah, yeah. Steve's not into the comics like we have. We decided to do a little bit of a spin-off YouTube show just to talk about comics, some speculation, some key issues that we're seeing.
Yes.
Just to help, our lovely geek community. If you guys are into comic hunting and selling, I mean, we both are doing it together, and it's been a lot of fun. I think we both are doing it differently though. Sean is
Yes.
doing it just to amass a large collection. I'm doing it to amass a collection, but also using some of it to help pay for the collection. Like because I'm looking at speculation books. I'm picking up books that I might not want in my collection, but I'm picking
Right.
those up to sell down the road. So we'll talk about some of the spec books, some key books, some really cool covers eventually on this series as we keep going on because we love I mean I bought a book this weekend after we did our regular podcast just because of the cover.
Yeah,
And
that's what I do too.
you
I
know
also go off of nostalgia of my own artistic brain, and I'm like, oh, I remember copying stuff like this from a book that I think my cousins may have had. That I remember going down the street to their house, and when they were living down the street in our house, and they had a lot of comics. I meant to question them about that a little, but I
you
never
should.
questioned them about that later. No, but because the mom is very so I don't think I will. But she's very no, 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 no. So it's, and this is like years ago, but still today she's still like that. So I won't even bother.
I
But
mean,
it's
that's the way to amass huge collections. They might just have it sitting in an attic, man. Nobody wants it. Just be like, you know what? I'll come and pick them up.
I
You're an
know,
artist,
but you know what? The first time, this is how. I'm not saying all black people like this, but if you ask about some shit, they're gonna check at it. They're gonna check about it, and they know me, so they know that if I'm checking about it, then there's a reason why,
All right,
and
I got
they're
you.
gonna be like, well, no. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's how it be. Don't believe me.
So, so one of the things I want to start with, is we use a lot of different sites. Key Collector is a favorite one of both of ours, especially when we're looking
Yes.
at raw books. I like to look at Go Collect as well. Because Go Collect gives me kind of that trends for graded books because I'm gonna get these books graded that a lot of these that I'm collecting.
Right.
And as I was, a little bit of backstory as I was talking to Sean today, there's a place called Half Price Books by me that sells comics, and they were doing a sale for Labor Day. I went there and they had a book I've been looking for, and I kind of hemmed and hawed at the price. I'm just like, I just can't do it. Just can't do it. I walked away. I left. That was yesterday. I thought about it all night. I went back there again today. Hemmed and hawed. Called Sean. Left it behind. Got other
I
books.
told him to get it. I told him to
Got
get
other books. Got back home. Was messing around with the things, and then all of a sudden, Go Collect has it as it's the top mover of the week, and that's Uncanny X-Men 266, the first appearance of Gambit. So Gambit, we know he's going to get a solo movie. We know they're going to do Gambit right, not like they did in X-Men Origins Wolverine. So I did pick that up. I'm really excited about picking that up. It's in really good shape. I think there's like one little non-color breaking tick there that I know I can press out. Corners are sharp on everything. Love it. So finally got it's a Grail book. I mean, Gambit's the top X-Men character, 266. So
that's something
I
that
mean,
you're going to get graded.
yes, I
Okay.
will. I'm gonna pay to get it pressed. I'm gonna get it graded, and yeah, that's gonna go in my personal collection for the long haul. That's
Oh, okay.
I mean, if it gets ridiculous, Gambit gets a solo series, Gambit becomes, a head. I mean, I might have to sell it at some point. But it's one that I'm definitely going to keep, and so it's one of the biggest movers. It's one of the biggest movers on Go Collect. So
I don't
that's
even
one.
use Go Collect. Is that an app or is that
It's a
just a
web.
web?
I use their website, so I haven't looked up the app yet. I use Key Collector on the app when I'm hunting quick. So,
Right.
but I like Go Collect site, and there's GPA analysis as well, which I do look at like long term trends on spec books. So we'll go through this as we continue this series on that we're starting
Right.
we'll start going through other things. But another book I wanted to talk about, which is another one top actually, and there's two versions of the same book out there, and one is the newsstand variant, one is the regular variant, or the regular edition. And that is Amazing Spider-Man number 238. It's a book that has eluded me for a long time. I did not pick this one up. I'm still looking for it. Problem is, every time I find it, it's missing. It has these tattoos in it, and whenever the tattoos are out, it loses its value.
Right.
It's a weird thing, but Amazing Spider-Man 238 is being heavily specced on
Is
because it's the first appearance of the Hobgoblin, not Ned Leeds' Hobgoblin, but the Hobgoblin. But there's a lot of rumors, because Jacob Batalon lost a lot of weight, and of course he's in the Spider-Man Marvel series currently, that he could end up being the Hobgoblin. There's rumors maybe at an end credit scene that leads into Spider-Man 4.
It's a good cover though. I really do like it.
I have the statue, the diamond statue of the Hobgoblin, and it's an homage to that because he's got the torn costume in his hands flying his glider. I love that. That's why I wanted to pick that up. And then another key book that's kind of gone up crazy. It's a book we've talked about. I think, Sean, you might own this book if I'm correct. Oblivion Song.
Yes, I do. I don't even know where it is, but it's around. I meant to find it before we did this, but it's around. It's because I have so many books and so many damn cases. But I do have it's issue 1 actually.
Issue 1, yeah. And there's a couple variants of issue 1 out there. Again, the reason why this is hot and this is moving up the chain again is Jake Gyllenhaal is tied to star in Oblivion Song. They're fast tracking a movie. It's a Kirkman book.
Yeah, it's a Kirkman book. Kirkman books, man, seem to always. He has a deal, like I guess with everything he writes. I'm pretty sure, but for some reason, everything he writes, number ones, like they always punch up. Like Invincible, like no one knew that shit was gonna happen, but it happened, and it's
Look for he's got another series, Outcast, right? I think that's
Outcast. It did well because it was a Showtime show, but it dropped down, man, because the show was really not that good. I think it got
and that's the worry about these specs. If these things don't hit, like what was it on Netflix? Jupiter Ascending. I got that in my blind box doing my Box Heroes.
Yeah.
That number 1 for a while before that show was coming out was getting hot and hot and hot, and that show came out and nobody liked it, and it got canceled. So it's when you're watching these shows talking about spec on books, for me, like going for Gambit, I got a good price on it. I wouldn't spec on just random characters unless it's really dollar bin type books. Then you can accumulate a bunch of those. But like right now, in my view, get every X-Men and Fantastic Four book you can find.
That you can find.
Yeah. Especially within your price range, if you can find them in good condition. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I picked up another X-Men book that we'll talk about, of course, next week more on the podcast. But X-Men 121, the first appearance of Alpha Flight. It's an early X-Men book. 121 is in that real key area, from like 94 to like, almost to Gambit 266. That whole run, there's keys all over the place.
Yeah, I
actually
picked up a current issue of Alpha Flight. The newer one, number 1 of Alpha Flight.
Is that the yellow cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got it this week, actually. I was going to show it later on in the podcast, but I'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
I just picked it up just to pick it up because, it'll happen. Again, your older version is going to go for more, but, again, that's still there.
But that's the thing to do on these. A lot of these is you go for that next one. We've talked about Ultimate Fallout 4, which is like, my holy grail book that I have. You pick up Spider-Man 1.
Even reprints on some of these books is kind of ridiculous. So even if you get a reprint of it, like fucking 3, 4, 5, reprint 6 is still, they're always still good to have.
Yeah.
So if you're in your comic book shop and they do have, and Ultimate Fallout 4 is on the stands now. I've seen a couple this week. definitely I would say pick them up. I mean, just to have it, just to hold on to it. If you're not a flipper, what I mean, like if you're just kind of holding on to comic books, man, and it's a good time to get back into comic books because right now, if you go to every shop right now, man, these comics are just there. People are in it, and the comic book heavy people from a long time ago are getting heavily back in again. And the longtime comic book people are just getting it too, as also. So you gotta, it really is. They're coming off the shelves, man. So to own a comic book shop now, man, is probably the best thing to do. just if you
I'm
have
telling you,
one.
yeah, for sure. Especially those guys that end up sticking on all that old back stock. I mean, I got one guy here, the one guy that works only in cash, who hooked me up with the Ultimate Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like I have to go to him every week. I have to spend a little bit there. But he's always finding old stock. He's always like, I pulled out these books. He had, I picked up, what did I pick up from him this week that I didn't talk about? It was Volume 2, Young Avengers #1, Volume 2. So it's not the first Young Avengers book, but it's the Volume 2 one. And the reason why I picked it up is because this has got the first America Chavez on the cover, first Kid Loki, Kate Bishop,
Yeah, I have issue 1, but I have the blank cover of that.
Oh yeah, so the Volume 2, yeah. But it's one of those to pick up, and it's like, we know right now it seems like Marvel and Disney Plus is setting up a Young Avengers series. We've officially got Kate Bishop, we've got America Chavez, and going to be in Doctor Strange 2. Wicked and Speed have already been introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Patriot's been introduced. Very in Falcon Winter Soldier. So it's like you've got a team almost right there. Cassie Lang has been introduced.
You kind of do, yeah, you do.
So it's like you can build any kind of team you want right there. So it's like, go pick up Young Avengers books if you can find them cheap. They're already spiking. Even if you go look at the Key Collector app, a lot of the early books are cheap on that app. But if you go on eBay, people are looking for 70, 80, 90, 100 bucks for the first Cassie, first all of those. So, you gotta start digging through bins for all those. You gotta start digging through bins, and I mean, if you find #1 and it's a reasonably priced and you're willing to invest in it, that's the one to definitely go for. I mean, that one CGC 9.8 is over
$280 right now.
On there, yeah, raw. That's a raw 280. So, but CGC 9.8 on those are going for well over 1,000. So.
Oh yeah.
So that, and then I wanted to bring up. I mean, Sean, I know you want to talk about some hot books of the week.
Mm-hmm. It's coming up this week, actually.
So hot books of this week, and then I wanted to pick up a few, like kind of $20 books to keep an eye out for. And I just talked about America Chavez.
But I want to say real quick, variants are some of the books that you'd actually want to look at if your comic book shop can get them. It all depends on where you at. I mean, I know if you're in the tri-state area in New York, if you're in New York, Midtown always has the variants. If you're from New York, if you're in that area, but your local comic book shop can probably get them. I don't know. Some of them are exclusive to the shop. Some of them are exclusive to like a certain number. So it all depends. But usually you really want to get the variants. They may be a little bit more higher, but the value of those go up.
Some crazy. So the Javeric variant of Ultimate Fallout 4, which they reprinted, you could buy the reprint for $50 right now. Mm-hmm. Javeric. I'm probably messing up the name, and I'll post a picture of it here. That book, CGC 9.8, is sold for $25,000. So right now, a book that might be comparable to that, it's an expensive book. I am not going to buy this book. I cannot afford to buy this book. But I think it's Turcotte, if I'm saying the name right. The Turcotte Invincible Iron Man #9 Riri Williams book. Oh, yeah. 9.8. That one is selling for about $5,000 right now. There's less of those in circulation at a 9.8 than that Ultimate Fallout. And with how Marvel has signed the actress for 20 appearances,
yes,
we know we're getting Riri. I mean, if you want to look for Invincible Iron Man #9, you're probably going to get the... And remember, for those, there's also multiple printing of that initial cover. There's the first print, which is the high one. Then there's the second print with like blue lettering.
Yeah.
So make sure if you're out there looking and you see it, don't pay a ton for the second printing if you can avoid it. But reread
Yeah.
books are going to be hot. So
I got that one, man, but the Scotty Young books don't go up in price for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe they're so mass marketed.
I think it's because it's not a limited one. Scotty's he's done so many.
I know.
It's the same thing that I'm seeing now. Is like I was really liking the Peach Momoko art, but now she's becoming that next step.
Well, I mean, but that newest issue she got that I just picked up too is not a bad. What is it? X-Men? Is it X-Men or something like that? It's the anime. It looks anime.
Oh, you have to send me a picture of that. I
Yeah,
don't remember.
yeah.
Like I know she's her turtle book. She's got a turtles book out there that's really really hot right now. That she did, but I wanted to get in on some of these $20 keys for you guys to go hunt. One of them to watch out for again because the spec on America Chavez. Nobody's getting Vengeance, which is another crazy book right now. And it's going for thousands, which is her first appearance. Vengeance 4, I believe it is. But look for Marvel Now .1. It's got Nick Fury on the cover, and that's her first cover appearance. And it's a preview of Young Avengers #1. So it's kind of like a double key there because it's a preview of Young Avengers. It's got her on the cover. It's right now going for about $20. I've talked about the different Marvel .1 books. The Camilla Khan Marvel .1 is going for $300-400 raw, and that one's blowing up because we know we're getting that series. I picked up 2 of the Marvel .1s that have the Sam Alexander first appearance.
Yeah,
so that's a big one to get. Another one which is kind of interesting to me, for people to look for is ones I think you can find in dollar bins because people weren't really buying those. Is the Venom Lethal Protector books? I know Lethal Protector 1 everybody's picking up, but Lethal Protector 5 has the first appearance of all the different symbiotes, and there's projections that as they continue on with the Venom series and the movies, we're going to start seeing Lasher, Riot, Agony, Phage. And they've all gotten their own books currently going on, like their own stories. I think I have a Scotty Young variant of one of those. That's another $20 book to look for. Like right now, it's going for $20. I'm sure you can find it for less. One I think I have behind me somewhere. Yeah, the Kate Bishop Hawkeye #1 from Marvel Now with the yellow background.
yeah.
Again, Hawkeye's coming out in a few months. That's going to be a huge one to pick up and get. And then I'm gonna throw a little love here to DC because DC's got some books that are going up in price.
Yeah.
We don't talk a lot about them, but Batman 408, it's a reintroduction and the new origin of Jason Todd. That's hot now because of Titans. Talking about Jason Todd and that and him being a big part of this new series, this new season of Titans. I know, Sean, you've been watching that. I have not yet. I do want to binge it.
Yeah.
And then Brave and Bold 200 is another $20 book. And that one has the first team appearance of the Outsiders, which is Batman, Black Lightning, Halo, Geoforce, Katana. For Katana's first appearance. So it's another decent DC book to get. Yeah. I think that's the other thing too. Like I'm a big Marvel guy. Sean, you are more of a DC fan.
I'll bounce back and forth. I'm both, I guess. But I mean, for comics, it's usually Marvel. I do Batman's. Definitely. Right now I'm running off that Batman animated series book. I know those. Those aren't worth much now, but eventually later on they'll probably jump up in price. Usually they do. A lot of the old Batman animated series stuff, you can find those in dollar bins. To be honest, if you're looking good, you can still find some of those. Not the Harley Quinn first appearance of Harley Quinn, but some of those books are starting to rise up a little bit. There's some that are jumping up a little bit, so it's definitely worth to check out, especially in the DC bins. You can find plenty of first appearances if you look. Use Key Collector sometimes. It'll probably help to find different DC books of what you're looking for. It all depends. You know what I mean? It's really kind of a hit or miss of what you want. Sometimes there's some vintage books, like some old Batman books that I steer away from, but I'm kind of like maybe I should probably jump into those just to have them, because some of those are just, they look so old, and you know, some of them, some of I've seen are not in bad condition, but I mean, you just if you're playing a long game and if you're holding on to shit, just hold on to them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I do. So
for sure. Another book to look out for: Hulk #2 in the newer series. Sean, we were talking before we started recording about a Hulk 1. It was the cover appearance of Red Hulk, but he's not in that book. He's just on the cover,
right?
Which is a great cover, and it's a book we both want. But his first appearance is actually in Hulk #2 in the story. So that's one you can get for about $20, and that's also the first appearance of A-Bomb. You know, a good thing with A-Bomb too, as well, is like, you know, he's a known character because he was in the Hulk and the Agents of Smash cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, just like Nova Sam Alexander, which I think will be easy for them to adapt. He was already in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. So like there's a generation of kids who watch that show that know him, and once those movies hit, you know, those are going to go up. So, you know, I think those, you know, for now, I think those are big ones to kind of keep an eye out for. But
keep an eye out for Devil Dinosaur too.
Yes,
that's something that you might want to keep an eye out for as well.
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It's a hot book. That series is coming out.
Yes, it is.
But it's already hot. So definitely look at that. Look at if you're looking at newer books again that I think you can find. Champions #1 is another one that I think you can look for. It's the first appearance of the origin of the Champions team, which is again another team that they can put together.
It's mass produced, man. If you go somewhere, you should be able to find that.
It is, but don't pay more than $20 if they're asking for more than that. But it's a team that I can see them putting together here. You know, because it's Miss Marvel, you know, Spider-Man, Nova, Hulk.
A book that's jumping up is Spider-Man. That first appearance of both Miles and Peter Parker on the same cover.
Yep.
That's starting to jump. The variant one with the mask is a little bit higher than anything, but I mean, that was an easy book to get. I had it. I don't even know what I did with it, but it's, you know,
I got that whole series because it was 5 issues, I think.
Yeah. I mean, so clearly. I mean, and you know, if you're a Star Wars fan, still the Star Wars books are still, you know, climbing. So you should always take a look at them. But the Star Wars: The High Republic seems like those issues are really jumping up in price. And if you can find them, there's a lot of variant covers. So, you know, just pick up what you can. But again, a lot of variant covers go for a little bit more. You know, Darth Maul right now, issue 2 is $65 right now. So keep an eye out on some of those Star Wars books. I mean, I know, you know, you may not have liked the last Star Wars, but Star Wars is still, you know, it's still there. And the Clone Wars, the way that's jumping is ridiculous. Yeah. You can't even get a Clone Wars book right now. If you find a Clone Wars book, you better hold on to it, because I missed that whole run of Clone Wars.
It is crazy. It's crazy how those books, the Phantom Menace tie-in comics from when those prequel movies came out, how those are going up crazy too. So. Anything Moon Knight, pick up anything you can find. Moon Knight's going up. Even the newer Moon Knight series of Marvel now, Moon Knight #1, where he becomes Mr. Knight, it's a $50 book right now. And like these are books that, you know, a year or so ago they weren't going crazy. Ironhearts again, just like we talked about. You know, any Black Panther book with Shuri. I know you think you just picked one up recently, Sean.
I did.
You know, definitely look for those.
For the keys this week, I'm gonna tell you, Batman 112. It's the first appearance of Peacemaker X, but there's 3 issues, 3 different variant issues. There's one that's actually Castlevania based packaging. If you go into your key collector and you go into keys of this week, but there's a wanted one that's a Batman 112 variant. $5,000 they wanted for that thing.
Oof.
I almost ordered it on my Comic Hub, and I was like, "Oh no, I should not have done that." And I almost got caught on that one. So I got lucky. I seen it. And I was like, $5,000 for a variant.
Wow.
So you know that price is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Unless it's CGC graded, I am not buying a raw book. I mean, I guess I can't say that. Like if I had Amazing Fantasy 15 in front of me raw, it was 5,000. I'd probably pull the trigger on it.
But I'm gonna tell you, the Batman 112, I would get it because it's the first appearance of Peacemaker X. You know, you never know where that's gonna go. But I mean, it's DC, so I know you're a little leery on DC stuff because they don't have a movie franchise really that well.
But I think and that's the thing here. I think people are sleeping on it. Now with HBO Max getting more popular, Titans is showing that the ball is moving a bit. There's going to be a Green Lantern series. We know that. So there's going to be some stuff with the Lanterns coming in. Peacemaker is getting his own series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think, yes, they're behind in a sense, but they're going to be giving new content. Like, there's content there for DC. You know, we talked about the Jaime Reyes books already been going up, you know, because of the Blue Beetle show or movie. I don't think it's been officially announced which or what. I thought it was supposed to be a movie, but now it might be a show. You know, with the kid from Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't sleep on DC books. If you're finding them cheap, especially now, because I think stores are seeing the Marvel books flying off the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the DC books as well. I mean, especially if you're looking at a spec to sell later on, it's not a bad investment.
Well, this week is Green Lantern 2021 Annual #1. It's Jessica Cruz joins Sinestro Corp. So that will be her first appearance as a Sinestro Corp character. Jessica Cruz, if you don't know, is a Green Lantern. So I don't know her turn in that. I haven't read that book, but it's definitely something to keep an eye out for as a key. Sensational Wonder Woman 7, first appearance of Natalia Close, a famous socialite with a dark past. Again, you know, that's Sensational Wonder Woman #7. DC Black Label, which I haven't really been picking up any of those, but The Nice House on the Lake, issue 4.
That whole series is because that's also a series that I believe is becoming I think it's Netflix or maybe it is HBO Max. I'm not sure. Somebody's picking it up. Something happened with that. That's blowing up.
So stay on that. The it's crazy, but Star Wars Adventures books, you might want to start getting those, man, because for some reason those are gonna blow up. And this week is issue 9. It's the first appearance of Boba Fett in the Star Wars Adventures title. So, you know, you may want to, you know, jump on that if you can. They're Disney books, but hey, man, you know, those little kid books that you think that are just for the kids sometimes jump up in price. I can tell you right now, the Clone Wars was a kid's book. I mean, it was sitting on that kid's shelf. So definitely something that you want to take a look at. Next is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin #4. This is issue 4 of the 5.
Yep.
I kind of dropped off of The Last Ronin a little. I don't know if you were reading it, but are you still on it?
Yeah, I'm still on it. I have it's pre-ordered. I just didn't pick up the 4th one. So
yeah, so
I have a pull list on my comic shop for it.
All right, cool. So yeah. Next one is We Love in the Dark. This is a second printing. We Love in the Dark #1 second printing. So maybe it's something that you might want to pick up. Again, it's in the second printing. So usually if something jumps into the second printing, it'll jump into the 3rd or 4th, but it's pretty much a sought after book. Yep. Something that you may want to look at just to keep. I don't know anything about the story, to be honest, but it's an Image book. But I'm pretty sure it's probably good, because especially if it's flying off the shelves. I'm not reading this Amazing Spider-Man 73, but it's a variant cover by Federico Vincentini. It's 1 of 25, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm not reading Amazing Spider-Man, so I don't know much about it. But again, maybe I don't know the reason why.
I need to get back into the series, especially after reading Dark Ages 1. I just kind of got my blood pumping again.
I was
picking up old books, but then at Dark Ages 1, I was just like, this is really nice. Like, I like.
Yeah, man, but it's you know what's hard about comics is like, what do you want to stick with reading, and that's always an issue with me. I'm a sucker for number ones. I'll pick up a number one of anything if I can, usually. Um, but I don't read them as much as I probably should be. And sometimes I think my brain is like, oh, I was gonna get it just to get it, but I also should be reading some of these books too because it to have that knowledge. Sometimes the new stuff is always fun to enjoy, and everything. Sometimes you can get things in trade, which is fine, but I enjoy the single covers, man. Trades are too easy. It's too easy, If I fall off of something now, if I fall off of it, I can go back and try to find it, and that's the fun part about it. Not so easily just to go, oh, I'm gonna read a trade.
Yeah.
Now that's how your mind gets, and then you're just gonna be collecting all fucking trades, and trades ain't worth shit sometimes. But if you get those number ones,
you can't hang up the trades on the walls. Like I like to put books on my walls and stuff.
yeah, I mean, if you're into the omnibuses, I mean, those are worth so much money. I mean, but they're crazy like expensive too. So
yeah, you need a whole room just for like an omnibus library. I mean, those things are thick.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not Gem Mint. Gem Mint got a whole library of those damn things. But Avengers Tech 2. The Avengers encounter Venom in Yokohama, but he is supersized and supercharged and out of control. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not reading Avengers Tech. I don't even know what it's about, to be honest. It seems like they're all Iron Man-ish characters now.
Yeah.
Maybe something that you want to check
I
out.
I haven't seen that. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Next is a Marvel book, actually, Conan the Barbarian 25. The variant cover art is by Kevin Eastman.
Okay. I definitely want to pick that up because I do like Eastman. I guess I like Eastman's Turtles. I guess I'll have to check. I'll have to look at what that cover looks like. So.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, Eastman's okay, but Eastman was good for Turtles in the beginning, but not now. This is the thing. So that's Conan 25, Deadpool, Black, White, and Blue, issue 1. Variant cover by Lenley Francis Yo, 1 of 25. It's Deadpool on the cover. Again, I don't know about Deadpool comics anymore. Like, I'm not really sure if that's kind of shipped. Like, that sale just like, eh.
I mean, again,
like Harley Quinn.
He's not in a movie right now. It's been quiet. He had that, live action commercial with Korg. He kind of bumped all his books up, and then they all kind of dropped down again. Deadpool will pick it back up once they announce a Ryan Reynolds movie, and then you're going to start seeing people start picking those books back up again. My problem with reading Deadpool as a series, it just kind of it at time kind of becomes bonkers. Just kind of goes all over the place. I liked his one shots. Like when Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe and a lot of those things, or like when he's in the group setting and it's not just all Deadpool. Like the Deadpool Spider-Man books were a lot of fun. When they were working back and forth with each other.
Yeah. So I mean, are you catching up on any of those? What is it? The whole Venom, Carnage, Extreme Carnage, Toxin.
I've got a couple of them because I got them in some mystery boxes, but I'm not really into them. I like the old stuff. I have a lot of the old Venom and Carnage stuff. It's just it seems like a lot is happening at once now, and for me to kind of, I guess, start reading them again. I read some of the new Venom run that Donny Cates did.
Yeah.
Those were good. And now we have technically a new Venom, and Venom is different now, which is a pretty interesting story about.
I can't keep up. I'm sorry, I can't keep up.
It is a lot. So.
It's too much. And I mean, like, really, to be honest, I think like for me, I can't. I guess there's a Shang-Chi number 4 issue. First appearance of Jing Li, Shang-Chi's mother, in what appears to be a retcon to the original introduction of the American version of the character with special.
That's right, because in the old comics, his mom was American. I think she was white, if I can remember.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because that's when his dad was Fu Manchu, and all that stuff has been changed now.
Yeah,
for the better, because that movie was awesome, and everything they did was for the better. So
yeah. There's a Frank Cho special cover as well that you may want to take a look at if you can find it.
okay.
It's hard to find certain things, but um, and I mean, there's a couple more books that actually I have on order that I think are coming out this week. I did get which damn I was trying to find. Well, Stray Dogs is something that you probably want to stick with because clearly that's just jumping up in just price overall. But I was trying to find what I had last week, but I can't find it on my keys. But I'll talk about it during the show next week.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Again, there's a couple Star Wars bounty hunter books. If you're into that, I mean, I don't know, but there is one that's coming up and on the 15th, which is we could talk about probably in a couple weeks. It's the first appearance of Bausch, which is Princess Leia's bounty hunter thing. So we might want to check that out. Just coming up, but we'll talk about that later.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I think we talked a little bit about books this week, so we're going to keep this going. Let us know in the comments what you want to hear. If you want to hear more about like what we're getting, what we're into, or if you just want to hear about some of the top key topics, top books that are coming out, future number ones that we know are coming out, future first appearances that are coming out. We're going to be looking at all the different ways to kind of bring you guys more content, kind of help you guys out with your collecting, as well as us, because we've been collecting comics, both of us, for our entire lives, but it's been more of just reading in and out. I've sold my collections multiple times over for things, and now I'm just back into it. So it's kind of, I feel like I'm relearning everything because the whole comic game has changed.
Man, I've been in this game for
But you are learning so much.
It's so sad of how much stuff I've lost.
I agree. Same here. How many?
Because I go every Wednesday when I was in New York. It's not like I wasn't going. I was going every fucking Wednesday, Lil. Every Wednesday. How did I pass up on Ultimate Fallout number 4?
Yeah.
How did I pass up on that? I swore I thought I got it. I thought I had it, but I didn't. And now I go through my books now, and it's like, oh my god, I have this. Like we had this conversation. Like, oh shit, I got this. Oh, I had this. So
I know I keep finding holes in my collection. It's like, well, where did this one go? Why do I have all these and then this one and then everyone after? Just like
crazy, man.
It's weird. It's weird, but we're gaining knowledge. We want to kind of give that to you guys and help you guys out, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. And comment, like, subscribe, let us know what you want, and we're gonna be trying to do this weekly. So
yeah, definitely.
And that's it. This is Alil.
Oh, this is Sean. And keep it geeky.
There you go. We didn't know who would sign off. Usually Steve signs off for us, but
yeah,
there you go. Keep it geeky.